This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1145, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, it's our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Derek is still traveling. He hit me up yesterday and said, I'm in Melbourne, Florida. I said, enjoy the Sheraton and Applebee's because that's all there is to do in Melbourne, Florida. And from LA, you know, from Social Club Misfits, it's Marty.
What's up?
Okay, Jesse, do you believe in gender equality?
I do. Yeah, of course.
Like
Why?
fully, like 100% women, men deserve the same treatment in society.
Where the heck are you going with this?
I have a question for you because, Jesse, historically over the years with this podcast, when we have had information get revealed about a cast member, you have latched onto it.
Yeah.
Tyler was homeschooled. Eddie Kaufholz was a Cubs Boy Scout.
Yeah, fair is fair.
Well
here.
beyond the years where it was okay.
Yep.
You know, like he was into his adulthood. He was a Boy
Eagle Scout.
Eagle Scout. I learned something about our friend Emily, downtown Emily Brown, this week, Jesse, that I thought might pique your interest.
I'm piqued.
She, in high school, went to a public high school. Did she go to her high school's prom? No. She went to Christian prom at her church every year. Emily, please tell us about your experience at Christian prom with all the homeschoolers that you chose to go to instead of your normal school prom.
This is an interesting decision.
It was. And I will say, I don't regret it. I do regret having to tell people I went to church prom. That's the one part where it's because it's like, even as I describe it as like I don't regret it. They're still like, but you went to church prom. So let me clarify. I did go to public high school and I was like pretty involved with stuff there, but I was mostly involved with church. And there was a large amount of homeschool people at my church. I don't know what that said. I did go to a traditional First Baptist church, so maybe connect the dots there on that one.
There's a direct line from Awana to homeschooling. You know what I'm saying? So
I was in Cubbies. I was in Awana. I did TNT for a hot second.
Next stop is sourdough culture. That's a recent observation I've made. Is that people that are into sourdough right now, and I got no beef with sourdough. And I got no beef with homeschooling. Okay, so because I have a lot of people in my life that are into both of those things, but it seems like the people who are into sourdough. I don't know if you guys have been following the whole sourdough thing.
Yeah.
Sourdough came and went in 2020.
No.
What do you mean?
It is alive and literally.
I had sourdough
alive.
cookies last night. My friend is like very into sourdough right now.
Is your friend
came back?
Is your friend, was she homeschooled or is she involved in homeschool community?
I don't
Because
think
my observation is the people that I know, it seems that the Venn diagram is pretty close to the perfect circle. And that's not a criticism of either. It's just an observation.
An observation, yeah. Yeah, I just, when Emily told me that she went to Christian prom, and you need to ask follow-up questions because, number one, I was like, I got to bring this up on the podcast. And I thought to myself, no, Jesse always treats Emily so nicely. He doesn't, it's not an equal opportunity roasting.
But the first thing, when you said the stops in the homeschool evolution.
It's like sourdough.
What would you say? Awana, homeschool prom, sourdough culture. That's the evolution. Okay, so but you were never involved in you weren't homeschooled. You went to a public high school, and proms are fun, notoriously, and church stuff that is outside of ministry is often notoriously lame. I'm just saying what it is. I'm not talking bad about the ministry. I'm talking bad about the recreational activities from
lack of fun. Lack of fun with these things sometimes.
Even when
what kind of music were you listening to, Emily? What were you dancing at DC Talk?
Hits.
What are we doing? It was audio jars of clay.
It was like clean versions of pop songs, I'm sure.
Oh, they played secular music?
I mean,
wow.
That's wild.
Maybe like Hannah Montana. Like, let's.
Yeah.
Okay. Kids Bop.
Okay.
They're doing Kids Bop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Party in the USA.
Yeah.
So Emily, so first, you have the decision to make. I can either go. Was it held on the same night for one? Was it an option to go to both? Yep. Okay.
Nope.
So
same night.
you had this was a fork in the road.
So wait, this is like your church's harvest party instead of Halloween. It's like you don't want to do the secular worldly prom. Come to the Christian prom.
Okay.
Got it.
You had way more friends in church, I'm guessing.
So
that were better friends.
So I have two questions here.
Better friends, yes.
On the decision tree, we know which way you went, but why did you choose that branch? For one, and two, what is involved in a homeschool prom, in a church prom? Please tell me.
Wild.
Walk us through.
Okay, so yes, it was on the same night. We did have to pay for it, but it was significantly cheaper than probably half the price of the ticket to prom. So that was a factor. I did have, I would say, better friends that went to church prom. Like I did have friends in my public high school. I really want to clarify that I did have actual public school friends.
I wasn't questioning that.
I just feel like I had homeschool friends and I had non-homeschool friends, and I need people to hear me when I say that, as I'm about to describe how I chose to spend my prom night.
Listener note, I was not questioning the friend ratio. I was questioning what appealed about the homeschool prom. Okay, so it was the friend scale was slightly tilted. Fair enough.
Okay, yeah. I do want to clarify because we also did church prom and church homecoming.
Hold on. The idea.
Hold on, one thing at a time.
How are you homecoming?
Answer the Jesse question.
I do,
what was the thing that made you go over? Tilted the scale that made you go to homecoming.
I know, but note, homecoming is built around the idea that people leave somewhere, like graduate, and then visit, and there's a celebration of their visiting. Yeah. That's a big problem if that's happening at a church. That is a big problem.
So it wasn't that. It was the homecoming dance. Like my school did a homecoming dance every year. So we did the Harvest Party Alternative homecoming dance at church.
Okay.
I love it.
So I like my freshman year, though, I went to my public school's homecoming. And again, I grew up this Baptist girl, somewhat sheltered. And so I will say seeing my science partner accidentally flashed me on the dance floor because her dress was so short, and watching these people I grew up with just grinding on each other was not my ideal night. And so that was. Were you offered
a clove
Sounds
cigarette?
Like a great Friday.
My friend and I, we definitely hung up by the snacks because I was 14 and I was like, what is going on? This is really scary and overwhelming.
You're they're all going to hell. They're all going to hell.
Okay. All right. So I think I understand the basis of the decision. It was just more friends, a little bit more comfortable atmosphere.
Yeah.
Tell me, you arrive at church homeschool prom. I'm more interested in this. I just had to get us there.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in this. What do you do? Because if there's not dancing,
did you dress up?
And we did dress up. Yes. Yeah. So all the girls, we got ready. We took pictures and stuff, and then we go.
Did you have dates? Did the girls have dates?
Yeah, we had dates. Was it I did take my pastor's kid, who was 2 years.
Whoa.
He was 2 years younger than me, but we were friends.
Wow.
So we went and we had food catered. This was at the church. Do you want to clarify that this was in God's house? We get there, we have dinner catered by a local Italian restaurant, whatever, which was good. So we all eat together, and then we put on music and then danced, whatever that looked like. I think I've honestly blocked out my Baptist dance moves because it was probably a lot of swaying. It wasn't really a lot of dancing.
Was it swing dancing, line dancing?
I think we did do some line dances. We put on,
I'm sure, it's Texas.
Cha-cha.
Sure.
It's Texas. Yeah. So we did a lot of that. So we do that for, I don't know how long. Then we change into more comfortable clothing. And then we all go to main event where we're each given a $25 gift card.
Do you fight? At the main event.
Wait, is main event like a Dave and Buster's or something?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that was a national thing.
Yeah.
Main event, like Dave and Buster's. There's bowling games, all these different things, whatever. So then we're given a $25 gift card, and we can go play games and get prizes and all that. Then we come back to the church. Now there was a family at our church who owned a laser tag company. And so while we're at Dave & Buster's, they're setting up the church with different obstacles so then we can play laser tag throughout the church.
Kind of sounds fun.
And then they also had a life-size inflatable hamster ball, a human-sized hamster ball. They had 2 of those. So we got in those and we did races.
You're not in your gown anymore.
No, I'm not in my gown, but I do still have my hair and makeup done. And shocking, I was crowned prom queen, aka all the seniors. We got prom.
You
queen.
were the church prom queen.
My mom brought out a crown on a pillow.
Oh, your mom was there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, she was there.
All of these details. My son is 10. My daughter is 8. This is an amalgamation of every birthday party they go to. It's just like you just take them all. And then you just like, let's just do it in one
but imagine
night.
I'm 17 and all of my high school friends are at prom getting drunk. So then, we play all that. And then at the end of the night, the parents, they all cooked us breakfast at this is probably 2 a.m. at this point.
It was like a sleep-in thing then.
Yeah,
you guys like kind of.
Basically.
Oh.
And then all the girls, we spent
Once again, sleepovers are very popular at my children's age.
Yeah. So you guys made sandwich bags for the homeless community, and then you gave those out in the morning.
Wait, parents came at 2 a.m.? That surprises me that Baptist parents would be up that late. That's crazy.
I will say, for all the jokes I like to make about my church, the parents were always very involved. And while looking back, there are definitely things that were lame. They tried their best to make it fun. And I appreciate it. And again, I don't regret it. I had my friends that went to high school prom, I asked them how they felt. And they were like, I went for 2 hours. It wasn't that fun. And then we came back and just hung out. And I'm like, well, you spent more money and you didn't have as fun of a time. And you don't have a fun story to tell on a podcast one day.
And you weren't named Queen.
Bird at the main event.
I have a tiara that you
I did have a tiara. I think there's a picture of me in the hamster ball with the tiara on, which was probably a little dangerous, but.
Did you pop that tiara?
I'm not going to lie. It does sound fun.
See, I think I'm just bitter because I one time went to the youth group Super Bowl party that was in the sanctuary, and where they put it on the big projection display that's usually like lyrics and sermon notes, you know, and every commercial break they stop and then there's like a message, and then during halftime there's a message. I'm like, what? Can we just have a night? I like watching the commercials at the Super Bowl. No one is wandering. The Super Bowl party was like an evangelical
evangelism.
When they were going to
evangelism.
I got news for you. No one's wandering off the street coming to the church Super Bowl party. Okay, you're quite literally preaching to the choir here. Okay, there's no one in here that is not involved in the church. No one is coming from the outside to the church Super Bowl party. There's no one to convert. These are all people who feel obligated to be here for one reason or another. You're not going to get conversions here. Just let us watch. Let us watch Prince at halftime. That's what we want.
Well, I was going to say, it'd be really funny, Jesse, if 1 year you would tell your church, listen, guys, this year let's embrace the commercials. Let's embrace the halftime. That's the year that Justin Timberlake ripped Janet Jackson's top, and then they're like, see, this is why we don't do this anymore.
It was a wardrobe malfunction. It was a wardrobe malfunction.
This is your fault, Jesse. Get out of the church.
It could happen to anyone.
Oh, Emily was the church prom queen.
Do you still have the tiara?
I want some pics.
I'm sure I have the tiara somewhere. I did tell someone this story once. And I did. That's what, part of the reason I wanted to preface so much with I went to public school and I had public school friends is because I told them this story and I didn't do that. And they said, oh, I didn't know you were homeschooled too. I was like, no, I wasn't.
Were you telling Tyler? Was it Tyler that you said that to?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, again, once you hear the full thing, you're like, oh, that's actually not as lame as I thought it was going to be. But there's no way for me to say I went to church prom without immediately being judged. And I accept that. I accept it.
Yeah. That reminds me of when we had a show in Vegas. For some reason, every year we get booked for Vegas, Vegas Love Social Club. So we got booked for Vegas. I brought my DJ. My DJ is probably 21. He's fresh. He loves God, super, on fire for God. So we go to Vegas and I'm like, let's go to Caesar's Palace. And let's just do some roulette. Let's just have some fun really quick. $20. No idea. He looks around the room and he's like, he starts crying. He's like, there's so much sin in this world. And I'm like, now I understand how he feels when you saw your friends dancing in prom and you saw your friends clothing not work and your friends are getting drunk and you just pity everyone. You're like, this is so sad. I'm just going to get out of here. I just got to get out of here. I guess that's how it
That's
connects
how I
to me.
felt when LA Symphony back in like 2000, they were in town and it was really late that they landed and we wanted to get some food. The only place open was Hooters. They wanted to go to Hooters. I'd never been to Hooters. I felt like I was like sinning by going to eat wings at Hooters with LA
Looking
Symphony.
around for pastors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Emily.
And I'll be honest,
Christian guilt.
probably not even the most embarrassing thing I did in my youth. Actually, I know for a fact it's not, but thankfully we don't have
you don't have to rank them. You don't have to rank them, but what would you put higher?
You don't even have to describe it. Just give us the headline.
Okay. My entire time I was in youth, every year we did church musicals written by my youth pastor's wife.
How long were these? Feature length? Were these like that?
I mean, we took over a Sunday. Like they're like an hour and a half.
Oh, so it wasn't like a Friday night event where like come if you want to. You're just going to church and you were subjected to a musical written by your youth pastor's wife.
But real talk.
Wait, y'all said y'all wouldn't have follow-up questions.
But real talk.
How many people go to your church?
Real talk. Writing a hour and a half long musical with like characters, dialogue, and song and dance numbers on a yearly basis. I don't even care about the quality. Just the fact that is a huge accomplishment. You can give me 2 years. Cool. I don't know if I could pull off a musical.
Shout out Pam. She knew what she was doing. I will say, like, she didn't write the songs. Like they were Christian. Like she wrote the story and then she found like Christian songs. A lot of Casting Crowns. It was
a lot of Lifehouse. Everything.
No, absolutely. I mean, the Lifehouse skit was included in the larger musical.
Yeah. She took credit for that.
Oh. It's amazing you turned out as normal as you did.
Do you know how many people have told me that? Like when I tell them about my like youth group experience and they're like, what did you go through to get through that? And I'm like, I think I deconstructed before that was really a thing because I kind of needed to.
I think we all had elements of this, but this was like the full, this seemed,
Oof.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the closest we got was like outreaches with like the human videos and stuff. That's the closest we got to like a musical.
Yeah. And imagine doing that for an hour and a half, 7 years in a row.
I single-handedly got those. My church stopped doing them after I told you the devil thing went awry that one time, Cameron. But
wait a second. I'm sorry. Catch us up, Jesse, please.
I used to be
the devil thing went awry.
I used to be just like slide that in there.
I used to be
the devil thing went awry.
Well, a long time listener. I don't want to like rehash too much, but like. I used to do the announcements at church and I don't even remember how I started doing it. Like my buddy led worship and he's like, Jesse, just come up and do it. And I would just do stand-up comedy announcements. Well, I would try. I mean, you don't get a lot of material to work with when you're announcing the same men's breakfast 3 weeks in a row for a reminder, But trust me, if you're prepping, you can come up with some singers in there. So I would do I would just make a mockery of, and people. Well, I don't know if people loved it, but I kept doing it. And this was like a pretty traditional church. This isn't like, kind of a hip mega church. It's like a suburban kind of, non-denom church with a wide spectrum of ages. Anyway, I was helping with a youth group and they were doing like one of those human video evangelistic sketches, which for some reason ends with Jesus resurrecting and like physically doing like a Matrix fight with the devil in costume. Are you guys familiar with these?
Wow. Like because he went down to hell and stole the keys to hell from him.
Yeah, like that, Mike. And like when the chorus hits, like Jesus rises, and all of a sudden he's Matrix fighting the devil, who behind the scenes was like part of the crucifixion. For some reason, I got wrangled in they were like, hey, we need a devil, but you got to dress up as the devil and you got to fight Jesus and stuff. And so anyway, I was like, there's one way I'll do it. Because that was like after worship, and then comes announcement and the sermon. I was like, the only way I'll do it is if I get to be the devil for announcements. If I get to keep the costume on and do the announcements as the devil. And
that's amazing.
And so we do it, and it's very dramatic. And Jesus, he wins, and his foot is on my chest, and he conquers the grave. And all the people that are miming, injecting drugs, and just gang violence or whatever, they're all you guys
playing
know
Dungeons and Dragons and Pokemon.
Yeah, they're all it's great. So we all leave stage, and then I come back on. And I could see why this is theologically confusing, because at this point, Jesus and his followers have left. And for some reason, the devil walks back on stage and grabs the mic. And so I was
Are
like,
you in makeup, by the way?
yeah, I'm in like red face paint, a cape, the whole deal. I think I had like a spear bow thing, and so I can get why if you're reading too much into it, theologically it makes no sense why the devil now has resurrected and he's grabbed the microphone and he's going to tell you not to send your kids to Vacation Bible School that happens to be starting on Sunday at 9:30 p.m. and instead keep them home and let them watch Harry Potter this year. That's how
he did like screw tape letters. Yeah.
I was in character as the devil. I was like, yeah, and it was basically stuff like that. Like, don't send them to Vacation Bible School. Let them watch Harry Potter this year. And like, so each announcement was me telling why they shouldn't do something, or like why this country did
reverse psychology.
Yeah, like why this country didn't need missionaries. So don't.
The devil is a liar.
And I killed. Anyway. I actually went on a mission. Like after that, I went on a mission trip for like 2 weeks. Cameron, you remember I went to Nepal for like 2 weeks, with the youth group as like to kind of help the chaperone or whatever. I get back and I go to a church banquet or barbecue, like it's summertime. And I'm like hanging out with my buddies. And some people come up to me and they're like, hey, we're really sorry about everything that's happening. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean everything that's happening? I know nothing. I've been out of the country with a missions team. And so I walk over and I have a lot of people like elders and stuff come up and no one's giving me any clear answers. So I walked over to the pastor and I'm like, yo, what is going on? I have all these people that are coming up to me. I just got back in the country. And he goes, yeah, the devil skit caused quite the blowback. The consensus is, and this is what he said. He goes, the consensus of the leaders is you grieved the Holy Spirit that morning, and we're going to have to suspend you from announcements. I was like, the Holy Spirit has a sense of humor, dude. I wasn't, So that was the end of my announcements career.
How old are you in this?
College.
No. This is. I was early. I was out of college, but it was like early 20s. Yeah. I didn't have kids.
Great time to be dressed like the devil doing announcements too, because you're full of energy. You're excited.
Had a lot of material too. I had some great material.
Did you ever get to go do announcements again?
No, that was it. That was the end of my stand-up announcement career.
What about grace? What about forgiveness? Come on.
Ladies conference, where you at? Don't come this year. We got Joyce Myers.
Yeah. No, I think for the ladies conference, I was like, I'll be there.
I can't believe church people didn't think that was funny.
Me neither. They weren't as sophisticated as our audience, unfortunately.
Emily, how many church proms did you go to?
My junior and senior year, and then homecoming was just 3 years. And
so you only got crowned queen 1 year.
Well, yeah, all the seniors got crowned. So me and one other girl who was also a senior.
Got it. So they did everybody. Yeah, senior girls are all queens.
This was not like a voting who deserves it. This was, you happened to make it to your senior of high school. Here's a tiara presented by your mother.
How many people were in the church, and then how many people were in the youth group prom that you guys had? Because I want to know how many people were watching the play, and then I want to know how many people went to main event together.
I would say probably like 300 to 400 people were at church.
Okay.
And then I think at prom we had about 50 people.
That's good. No, because if it's like 6 people,
that's
why everyone's getting crowned. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that. I know what's happening here.
It was
like there's more adults than students. There's little kids are playing now.
It was probably about 50 people.
Great.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's good.
Everything about this is great. All right. Well, we have a good show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to indie band Wilderado. They have a new album coming out. I'm excited about that. We also have, at the end of the show, hot takes. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Right now, up next, it's Slices.
Someday my
You're listening to Club 8. The song is Sunny. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right. Well, the fast food chain Wendy's has had to, what they say, clarify, but it sounds like they're walking back plans for surge pricing. They had announced what they called dynamic pricing to investors. The implication is it's basically the same tactic that like an Uber or even like Ticketmaster has used, that if something is in particularly high demand, like everyone's taking an Uber at like 7:00 on Friday, the price is higher than if you were to take it like at 1 p.m, right? Higher demand, higher prices. They had told investors that they were going to essentially use a similar tactic, a variable pricing structure at peak times. If you were cruising through the Wendy's lunch line at noon, maybe that JBC, that's what we call junior bacon cheeseburgers in the biz, is going to be like $2 instead of the regular $1.25. Now, there was a huge blowback on this, and but hold on. Conversely, they were saying that in the downtimes, like really low, mid-afternoon, late at night, they would drop the prices. Yeah. So it would be like that single would go like $6 standard, $8 at lunch, and $4 at 4 p.m. Yeah. And, basically, I can get into all the details, but Wendy's released a statement that walked it back, said we have no plans to do that, would not raise prices when our customers are visiting us most. They didn't really own it, but either way, that's not the interesting part to me. The interesting part is that they seems to be actually considering this. And I have to say, because I've been thinking about this a lot, as someone who likes to go to fast food, I am all for this, 1,000%. Here's why. What? Here's why. They need to do something about, not everything can run like a Chick-fil-A where I got an army of polo shirted teenagers with iPads strapped to their hands. Yeah. I mean, they got bionic teenage. They're too efficient to even hold the iPad. It's like an iPad glove, and they're walking around car to car, taking orders. Not everyone can operate like that. It's a special place. I was at Moe's the other night. Okay. At dinner time. And I go to this Moe's frequently around dinner time because of proximity and where I am at the time. I go in there, I'm waiting in line. There's like 5 people in front of me, but they're making all these Uber Eats orders and packing them up. And I hear the manager on the phone, and he's going, "Oh yeah, call the police, call them, tell them about the cilantro. Come back. Come on back. I dare you to come back and get this cilantro and bring the police with you. And let's have a police showdown right here." They were so overjammed from orders at dinner time that ruined the experience for everyone there. Crank up those prices and drop them. Mellow this thing out. There has to be something done here. You can't go to a fast food place with a line out it's dangerous to be parked out into the street because you can't get in. Surge pricing makes perfect sense. You guys aren't for this?
I hate this. I think fast food prices have gotten out of hand as is. I mean, you go to you go to McDonald's right now and you just order a value meal and it's $14, $15. It's insane. I mean, this is like old Chipotle prices. Like now Chipotle's raised their price. It's just too expensive. I'm totally against this. Actually, what Wendy said was they said that they still want to experiment with the variable pricing, but they would not raise the price, but they would experiment with dropping the prices to increase demand in the downtimes. So I'm for that. Like, give us the opportunity of going, oh no, I'm not going at peak hour because I don't want to pay $14 for a value meal. I'm going to go, I'll eat at 2:30 and they'll drop the prices. I mean, I'm for that. And that would still mellow things out for you because I didn't get in line at peak time, right? But like, don't raise the prices. I think that's a slippery slope. That's crazy.
Think about like Sonic. Like my ideal time to go is during happy hour from like 2 to 4.
Happy hour.
And it's like, I'm going for the half price drinks, but it's like, oh, I'm here. I might as well get, I don't know, mozzarella sticks or something, you know, like versus like I would never go at 10 in the morning because it's like, well, I don't feel like paying
happy
that
hour
price.
is a proven model. Let's go happy hour with all restaurants. Yeah.
Yes. That's a great.
It's too. Listen, I'm going to be the contrarian here. Something needs to be. We're all of us are online. We see those freak out videos all the time at fast food restaurants. And it's because sometimes it takes too long and no one has a solution. I was at a Taco Bell 2 nights ago and they had those big touch screens where you order. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
It's great. One of them was half shattered. That happens one way. Someone just freaks out and punches it. How else is that breaking? It can't fall on the floor. It's mounted to a pedestal. It did not fall. Someone got so frustrated at Taco Bell and they had to punch the menu. My thinking is they were waiting too long. This is a solution to temper that a little. That's all.
The solution, the actual solution is these restaurants that you're talking about are understaffed because nobody wants to work for minimum wage. So they have a really hard time hiring enough workers. The real solution is raise the minimum wage. You'll be able to attract a more stable workforce, properly staff the restaurants, and then you can meet all the needs.
It's like an extra lane on the highway. They can hire more people, but it's going to get more popular. Like, I think we need.
You know
what I'm saying?
Are we talking about the same Wendy's? Like, when was the last time any of y'all went to Wendy's?
Okay, I only have 2 fast food restaurants right next to my house, and one's a Wendy's and across the street is a McDonald's. The Wendy's is notorious that if there's 3 cars in line, you're sitting there for 40 minutes.
Thank you.
The McDonald's is just a normal double lane McDonald's, and you're going through. So Cohen prefers Wendy's, so we'll eyeball it, and like if there's no cars, then we'll give it a shot. And if we see any cars at Wendy's, we go over to McDonald's. So I've eaten at Wendy's because Cohen likes it.
I've eaten at Wendy's quite frequently. So
but Wendy's is like bad, like really, like Wendy's is known for terrible service.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was surprised when they raised the prices because I was like you already are struggling to get customers with your low prices and terrible food. Maybe let's raise the quality of food before we raise the prices. That if I'm Mrs. Wendy's, that's what I'm going to do.
You mean Wendy?
I love how these fast food chains are all like, what's the minimum we could pay everyone? That's where we're going to start. The minimum, the very least, you know, like that's what you're dealing with here.
I literally pulled up to a Burger King one time because of the Whopper TikTok ads, Cohen wanted to eat at Burger King. We pulled up to the Burger King. There was a typed Xerox paper taped onto the menu, and it said, "We're closed. Nobody showed up for work today." I mean, it's like,
it's amazing.
That's the issue. You guys are paying bare minimum and like nobody cares, or they're, quitting their jobs and stuff, going somewhere that they're going to get paid more.
Not to start hot takes quickly, but my hot take is that if anybody who works in the food industry should definitely be getting paid more because they're handling food. Like, I don't want to make my server mad because they could literally poison me. Like, we need to keep them much happier than they are. I don't know how to do that, but someone should get on that.
As somebody who worked at a Chili's in college, when I see these clips about like Karens at restaurants, like mouthing off to their servers, I'm like, you have no idea what just happened back in the kitchen to your food. Like,
I'm always very cordial. I'm
you better be nice to your servers at restaurants.
I'm very nice.
Just saying.
I'm very polite. I'm just looking at big picture economic principles. Let the invisible hand of the prices,
dissuade
out this line.
Mobs. Yeah, I know. As somebody who's been burned by Uber surge pricing a few times, where like I'm trapped, this is my only option, and then I got charged essentially,
Listen,
horrible.
I made a mistake on Uber Eats the other night, and I had just ordered literally ice cream and Slurpees for my kids. Like it was not a big order, and I just ordered from a 7-Eleven. I accidentally picked one like 15 miles away. And I was like, what is taking so long? And I see the Uber driver there's like 40 7-Elevens between there and where they went. I tipped pretty well because I'm like, that person must like think I'm the most neurotic human on earth that has to have it from a specific 7-Eleven. like half hour away. But I
Jumping
did
on
tip
the
well.
highway to deliver your food.
Was it worth the wait?
I mean, no, because it cost me a small fortune.
It all melted by the time you got it.
When Michael burned his foot and he went into work, he had Ryan go get him Boston Market for lunch. He needed comfort food.
Yeah.
And he wanted yams, and they didn't have any yams. And he said, did you go to the one in Carbondale? Because they always have yams. And he said, no. He went to the local one. Yeah.
Like, that's interesting.
What do you have, Emily?
Real quick, just something to be aware of. It is pretty much confirmed that the government is listening to us. Politico did an interview this week with an author who discovered some like pretty scary information. So a lot of times when we think about like, oh yeah, the government's listening, we think like, or at least this is me. Like, I think maybe like big companies like Google or Meta, things like that. But this author discovered that it's actually smaller companies that are also buying our data and using it to just influence the algorithm and influence like, and just like track us in different ways. The interview, it was interesting. He didn't give specifics. And I think it's like, if you read it, he sounds kind of terrified. So I think he's nervous to go too far into details.
Talk about it.
But he did sprinkle enough to basically be like, yes, you are being watched and there's nothing you can do about it. And so that's, I won't be sleeping for a week, but just wanted to make sure we're all aware of that.
I just assume that's true at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I know it's discomforting, but I'm also like, they probably have satellites that can see through walls and stuff,
This was saying like your tires can track you. Like there's like stuff in your tires that like tracks your location.
But my thing is like, look, if the government wants to know something about you, go read about Pegasus. I don't know if you guys know about Pegasus. It is a technology developed by an Israeli intelligence related firm that has been sold to governments around the world that can basically look at the content of any phone with just a phone number. It's how they got El Chapo in Mexico. The Mexican government tracked him. But do a deep dive on Pegasus and the availability that it has to not just our government, but governments all over the world, and that there's no level of encryption that will protect you. Again, like it's almost just a foregone conclusion at this point. I'm not saying that I support it, but I just, as a pragmatic sort of, that's the world we live in. I think it's unsurprising, I guess.
I will say the one saving grace is like the guy was kind of explaining like, why is this so important? And he's talking about tracking you, but the examples he all gave were like kind of like you mentioned with like El Chapo, like they're tracking people who are, crossing drugs across the border or who are just doing illegal things. And so that is the one thing that gives me comfort is like, as far as I know, I haven't done anything illegal recently.
But I've mentioned the last few weeks, I've been watching The Sopranos, was watching again last night. They spent 5 years building a RICO case against him with all the surveillance and all the whatever. Now they don't have to spend 5 years, right? I mean, obviously he was doing bad things. He needed to get,
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think me and Tony Soprano are living similar lifestyles.
But just the idea that like so much data is being collected about us all day long, obviously like Alexa listening to us and all the ads getting served to us, and that the government can just buy that. They're just a customer of all that data. And if they just decide to, that's the thing for me is like, we saw in the last 8 years that when new administrations come into the Oval Office, they just throw out certain laws and just do things kind of the way they feel like it. And what if somebody comes into power that just feels like targeting this person and buying all their data and incriminating? Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's too much availability.
Sure. I mean, unless the next president decides to go after Swifties, I'm not too concerned, but...
I mean, what if the next president believed the conspiracy that she's a, whatever they call it, psyop or whatever, and she's against the government, and they do go after any supporter of Taylor Swift?
Well, then it was nice knowing y'all.
Well, there's a book that came out. I mean, it's been out for, prior to all the recent, I think, probably been out for 10 or 15 years, called 3 Felonies a Day. And basically, like, the way law is written, the average American technically could be implicated in multiple felonies on any given basis based on the ambiguity of some law. All that to say is if the government's out to get you, they'll probably get you. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't think that just them buying additional social media information is, it's probably not being used for surveillance reasons. It's probably being more used for, like
target your ads.
Yeah. Like large scale sort of like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's micro. I think it's more macro. The information is probably more useful.
Yeah, well, but even in that context, I mean, the problematic things would be things like redlining or gerrymandering or like rigging elections and like manipulating the electorate in certain ways. I mean, that is totally possible if you have complete access to everybody's data.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not problematic. I'm just saying this case seems like it's probably not being used to mine individual, things for individual privacy. It's probably trying to push large scale thinking or behaviors,
So manipulating society as a whole.
That's what exactly.
Yeah. Reddit just is selling the information of all their like cookies for like $60 million right now. So it's becoming very popular to sell information from websites and
Reddit. I saw something where like Reddit's been in the news because they're IPOing. They're like going public. And so they had to like disclose a lot of stuff. They lose money as a website, but something like 77 million people a day are active on the website. So it's like one of the most influential websites in the world. And they don't make money. So they're like going now public. They have to make money. Investors want a return. So they're going to start mining user data and stuff like that. So it's great. Yeah. Anyway. All right. What do you have, Marty?
All right. Speaking of user data, just kidding. No. All right. So we're going to go from data mining to this promoted as the most insane athletic showdown on earth. Last episode, we were talking about Florida Man. There is something called the Florida Man Games where people get to do. I love this. Actually, the best way to say this is this quote right here. It's basically the owner of it was like, listen, you can be a Florida man for a day without being arrested. It is the Florida Man Games, outrageous event where you could steal a Cadillac converter. Steal a bike, races, and for $25 you could watch this. Surprisingly, it was a packed event.
Do math.
So it's a bunch of fun games centered around the idea of being a Florida man.
You can wrestle an alligator.
Yeah, absolutely. People
do illicit drugs.
The people here are absolutely doing the most outlandish things you've ever seen. One guy was training by riding a bike while having a bike attached to his back, like pretending to steal it. So, I'm saying you have to understand the type of people that we're dealing with here. The people who drink like ice beer. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of person.
This is Polk County. This is Osceola County. This is not. Yeah, this is definitely South St. Augustine.
It's in St. Augustine. And the gentleman who started the game was like, I just didn't think anyone was really going to come to this thing. Turns out, packed event. Yeah, it's basically just ripped from all the headlines from Florida Man, and then they made it into like an obstacle course. But here's the quote that I really wanted to put the whole story on. And this is the direct quote. We kind of give a person an opportunity to live the day in the life of a Florida man without ending up in a cop car.
Do you have to be a Floridian to participate?
You do not have to be a Florida man, which I think that this event, in my
opinion,
I
think
that
cosplay.
This event,
just come down and be a Floridian for a day.
You're LARPing in Florida. You know what I'm saying? You're LARPing in Florida. I think what this is going to happen, because this event was so popular, you're going to have people who are flying in for this event from different countries. It's going to be international, I think, next year.
100%. I mean, to me, if we can have Christian proms, let's have some Florida Man games. I mean, it's the same kind of
country. It's a great country.
There's a good Venn diagram overlap there.
Start the relay race, the Florida Man relay race.
All right, that'll do it for Slices. Check out relevantmagazine.com every day where we are covering stuff like this plus other real stuff. All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Wilderado joins us.
Still no answer yet. When I was 17, I tried to question everything. Took myself apart and tried to find a single piece that made sense.
You're listening to Nick Ward. The song is Gimme. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Well, Wilderado is an indie folk band from Tulsa. They've got millions of listens on Spotify and have been steadily growing since they formed back in 2014. We talked with frontman Max Ranier about the band's journey and the new music that they're working on for their forthcoming sophomore album. Here's our conversation with Max Ranier from Wilderado.
Sometimes I run away from you. It ain't what I aim to do. Like a heart with broken bones or a good punch in the nose, I'm painted black and blue. When the dark and stormy seas reach my ankles and my knees, I get knocked down.
So Wilderado has been together for a decade, but I want to start at the beginning. How did the band first get started?
I mean, really, just with music, we had written some songs, and then once I think the guitar player Tyler and I just decided that it was worth recording them, and I think just having to organize that process kind of just organized the whole process of everything else, more or less. We recorded some music, and then we had a friend that kind of hacked that she worked for a blog in Los Angeles, and she basically just like leaked one of our songs into her mailer. She had like a big, what is it called? Where you can she had a bunch of email addresses to a bunch of other blogs. And so we did this big blast, and kind of the rest was history. We put together a team pretty quick, and they sent us out on the road just about as quick. Started supporting a bunch of people, and then while we were home or in between supports, we just kind of made enough music to have more music out. So hence, I don't know if you've looked at our catalog, but it's like loads of singles and EPs basically up until 22. And then we put out, or whenever that was, 21, put out that first record. And we've kind of just been making it work. Nothing's just been a slow incline. There's never been a single moment of success for us. There's just been, baby steps into where we are now, which is still just kind of like a making it work stage.
Maybe I'm asking much, and maybe I'm vain. Just caught in the afternoon, stuck on the lake, making me wait.
Okay, so now you're 10 years in and you're about to drop your second album. How does this album compare to your first one?
I think the biggest difference would be we had much more of an idea of what we wanted to do. The biggest similarity would be that there's still just kind of an eclectic nature to the songwriting. That's something I've never been afraid of, and I kind of enjoy about Wilderado's. There's just the style of songs, especially when you get 10 or 12 together, they really do differ. Some of that comes from how they were written, and then some of it comes from, the time that they were written and stuff like that. So, but I think just like the first record, there will be an eclectic nature and a big differentiation between the songs. But I think the separator would be we put out that record and then we toured it just so hard, and we got tired of a lot of things, to be honest. And I think we went into this next record with much more of an idea of kind of like what we'd like to listen to as ourselves and what we were listening to and things like that. And I think it's just kind of working itself out to be a little bit more mellow, less bashing around. You know what I'm saying? but still really trying to make sure their stuff is groovy and you know, we can bob our head to it just because we're such fans of that kind of music.
It's coming up fast, coming up fast.
Is there a story or a message that ties these songs together?
I'm not sure there's going to be a grandiose message as much as it'll just be me, I think, being much more open with the way that I'm thinking and feeling. I think I had a tendency to be more positive in the first record, and now I'm also getting older, kind of looking more into how it was to grow up and how that is different than how I am now. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I've ever pulled together just a theme with my songwriting as much as it has been just kind of what does the mood of this track make me feel, or how am I feeling today.
I did want to ask about two tracks in particular. You've released Tomorrow and Sometimes already, and I have to say they are very honest and raw songs in the best way. But I also noticed some religious imagery in the songs. So I would love to know, what is your faith background like, or what's your relationship with religion like now?
Yeah, very intense religious background. Now, when I say intense, I don't mean negative. It was just really saturated with spirit-filled thinking, and we were just exposed to loads of stuff. It was like a non-denominational. I'm not sure what all that would be, but like evangelical, I guess, would be another word for it. You know, it was the way it was put together. It was like there's God, Jesus, and then the Holy Spirit. And everyone growing up was just really into tapping into the spirit side of things. And so there was loads of, like, you know, speaking in tongues and laying hands on people and healing and I don't know. I mean, what do you have, 2 hours for me to tell you crazy stories? There really were just so many crazy things that I saw. And then as I grew up, I went to Baylor. I stayed in Christian school almost my entire life. My whole education was Christian based. And I just got so turned off by so much of it. At that point, I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the way I was thinking and the way I was being made to feel. And then I went out to Los Angeles, and it was kind of the first time that I'd ever seen, what's the word? Just love that had no bounds to it. I mean, it was like I put this group of friends together, and it was kind of the first time I was seeing people just love on each other in a way that was unconditional, truly was. And I think it sent me on this journey of trying to separate as far as I can away from the church, and I did for 10 years. And you know, where I am now, my grandfather used to always just say is like one of the most important things a person can decide is just what he thinks about God. And I always liked that, because he never said the most important thing is to believe in God, or to you know, he didn't have this just concrete idea of what you needed to reach, but it was more this idea of like, don't ever stop just questioning and journeying forward into this idea of whatever it may be for you. And I think that's where I am now. You know, where I am right now is I've got no idea, and I'm comfortable with that. I just don't want to be someone who is complacent and doesn't care. I definitely don't not care. I care because I just have such a wild past with it. But you know what's really odd is one of them's literally looking at me right now as I answer this question. It's weird having kids that are smart and are starting to make up their own ideas and ask questions. So I'm in an interesting phase with it. It's a hard, who is God? I mean, how do you answer that question even to yourself? But to a 7-year-old, I have no idea. But yeah, it's all very curious to me. I'll admit that.
Are there more songs in the album that will explore religion, or are there other topics you're wrestling with?
Not as there was more tunes that didn't really fall in that I think I explored it more. Well, you know what's funny is we're still not done. So like, I think in like 10 days we'll go back in the studio and finish, but we're still undecided kind of what all goes on the record. How many of these songs? Several of them do, yeah. But I'm not so sure how much weight I'll give the lyric material as I will just once we get a bunch of songs together. To me, excuse me, if you're gonna have a record, I just want to make sure the sequence is the best. You know what I mean? So I love sequencing songs. So I think that'll kind of be king, as opposed to, making sure I'm saying as much as I can about my faith. But yeah, it came up a lot. And I think because why it came up was once it started coming up, it was just kind of a reoccurring thing. And I was having such a hard time writing. And once I started saying things that felt uncomfortable or felt vulnerable, just the writing started happening more. So I did dive into a bunch of it just because that was kind of the path that I was able to start following. So at first, man, I was just not ready to write any more songs, to tell you the truth. But yeah, helping me get into it is, funny enough, was talking about all that.
It almost seems like songwriting is therapy for you. Does it help you process all of your thoughts?
That does help, yeah. Or sometimes it's vice versa, where you'll kind of look up and be like, wait, what have I just said? And what does that mean about me? And then kind of allow yourself to be open to what just came from your subconscious, you know what I'm saying, rather than like kind of soapboxing or what have you. But yeah, it kind of goes back and forth. I really do just kind of want to honor the mood of a song. So it's hard to do though, right? Because it's so much easier to nail a mood than it is to like talk over it.
That was Wilderado. Make sure to check out their new single Sometimes and Tomorrow, and keep your eye out for their upcoming full-length project coming soon. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's Hot Takes.
Anyway, them demons know they feel away. Yahweh run the world, you don't participate. You might make it rain, but he precipitate. Had a debt, now it's fully paid. I could never get my soul up for a check. Living water, I don't need it on my neck. Road to riches cause a lot of y'all to wreck. Independent and I put that on my set. I could never get my soul up for a check. I could never get my soul up for a check. I could never get my soul up for a check.
You're listening to No Big Deal. The song is Check. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. All right, we did this last month. It's hot takes. We used AI to generate some hot takes. I'm going to say the hot take. You tell me if you agree or not in no particular order. Here we go. Hot take: In-N-Out is not good.
I think In-N-Out is fine. I don't think it's good. I think it's fine. It's okay.
I agree. I'd rate an In-N-Out burger as a 6 out of 10 because you have to dress that bad boy up.
Yeah.
I think a double quarter pounder with cheese. Believe it or not, I think it's the best. That's the best burger in fast food.
Five Guys.
Five Guys just got so expensive.
Yeah,
it's so watery.
It is.
I don't want to pay $28 for a burger and fries. Like, I don't care about the peanuts.
Commenting on the price, quality of the burger.
Yeah, you're pro increase the price. So,
all right, making an itinerary ruins the whole trip.
Agreed.
I mean, that's how I travel.
I wing it.
No,
I
wing it.
Seat of my pants.
Yeah,
Emily, you're a traveler.
I need a little bit of planning.
I need planning too. I need something on the books.
I need 1 to 2 things a day to like eventually get to. Like we'll do lunch here or
we build around.
This afternoon. It's a tent pole, and everything else in between is loose. I can wander. I can explore. I can do whatever. All right. I don't understand this one. California's landscape is kind of ugly. I think it's a beautiful state.
I mean, it depends because, in Florida, we have all HOAs. California doesn't. So you'll have a lot of my neighbors, probably 40% of my neighbors have turf. They don't even have grass. They just turf it up.
I'm thinking of not Southern California. San Diego is beautiful, but I think of like mid to North California is just jaw dropping from Sonoma, like Sonoma, and then
I think it's pretty.
The coast,
off the state. Yeah.
I think
the middle part of California where it's farms. Yeah, that's pretty ugly.
I will say this. They should rename the LA River because that is big. That's a big ditch, right?
It's a big drainage ditch.
Yeah. That's a bait and switch right there.
All right, but no one actually likes going to the beach.
False.
No.
Totally
false.
As
a Floridian, I disagree with that.
Yeah, I agree with Cameron.
Who said facts? Jesse,
I said false.
You agree
I said false. I'm at the beach all the time.
I was like, you're a beach guy. Yeah.
I'm at the beach.
You cross the street from the beach.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the psychic.
Emily, what about you? Do you like the beach?
I like the beach, but I don't think I'm a beach person. But again, Cameron and we've talked about this. My experience with Texas beaches,
pretty bad.
It's like, not pretty.
When you have beautiful white sand beaches, but then like when you're in state and it's just soil, it's just dirt, it's brown. Yeah. That's Texas beach.
Like a lake beach situation.
It's a lake. It's a lake beach.
Yeah, you can't watch barefoot because there's broken glass and tree roots.
It's gross. All right, award shows are really out of touch these days.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say I agree.
I feel like this year's been fun.
But still out of touch.
What about that one guy who he was talking and he's like, I didn't write the jokes. It was the writers.
Yeah,
like, how out of touch was that whole event?
That was actually my favorite.
Joe Coy.
That was pretty rough. That was the most in touch because that's how an average person would do it. Don't blame me. That was the most one in touch with the average human. I can relate to that guy. Like, I'm getting burned alive up here in a room full of, I got Brad Pitt and judging me. Like, that was the only one that was in touch with reality. Jesse. Everyone else is too smooth. Give me somebody who's unqualified, toss them up there and see how they like it. That's in touch.
I will say, I think I'm more. I watched maybe a lot more award shows just because I think they're interesting. Like A.D. Bryant, she just hosted the Independent Spirit Film Awards, which truly me and 3 other people watched. I get that, but she was fun and it was a good time. I had a good time.
Yeah.
The Cheetah Girls was better than High School Musical.
Can't say
I can't say I agree.
Saw
with
either.
Oh well, I obviously have a million and one thoughts on this. This is going to pay me to say I do think it's better, which is hard because I love High School Musical, but Cheetah Girls just like kind of introduced me to girl power, like feminism. So made me the woman I am today.
Which was a new concept to you growing up in a Baptist church.
Okay, first off, the movie came out when I was 6, so a lot of things were new concepts to me, but yes.
But now you were dressing at Limited 2 once you went to Cheetah. Once you saw Cheetah Girl, you were going to Limited 2. And now you were like, I'm going to...
delicious, yeah.
Yeah, can I wear yellow on yellow, Mom? Is that possible?
All right. A hot dog is a sandwich.
Meets the requirements, which are very loose.
But it's one piece of bread folded. That's a pita, if anything. It's a pita.
I don't know.
You wouldn't call a pita a sandwich or a taco.
Situation.
It's a taco.
Yeah, it's its own situation. Why can't hot dog bread have its own situation?
It doesn't matter if you slice the loaf of either.
If you smush the hot dog bun, you have a taco.
So are you okay? Real quick. So are you telling me that if I simply separate the hot dog bun at the crease,
yes,
which is about a millimeter worth of bread, then it becomes a sandwich?
Yes, it's 2 pieces of bread make a sandwich. Otherwise, you have folded. That's a taco.
I don't think that single millimeter
is a taco a sandwich to you?
No, because that's not bread. That's a tortilla.
It's bread. It's smushed bread. It's the same amount of dough that goes into tortilla. A loaf of bread
it's like
as a tortilla.
Yeah, we got to agree and disagree here.
All right. Okay, here's one.
All right.
A ravioli is a wet Pop-Tart.
It's more of I wouldn't say.
I would say a Pop-Tart is a hardened piece of ravioli that is...
I don't know what kind of ravioli you guys are eating, but my Pop-Tarts are filled with berries and cinnamon filling. I would maybe go Hot Pocket, but there's no way. That's a good one. I don't know what kind of gross...
I would do Hot Pocket over a Pop-Tart.
Well, who's
maybe
eating
that's
a
what
Pop-Tart?
I think it's the fact that it's smushed or it's like creased around the edges and then bigger in the middle. That's different than a
Pop-Tart filled with
uncrustable territory.
Yeah.
We're starting to get in uncrustable territories over here.
All right, last one. Here we go. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day.
I agree.
I rarely eat it.
I think lunch is.
All right.
I love breakfast.
That'll do it for Hot Takes March edition. Welcome to March, everybody. Okay, well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Max Ranier from Wilderado for joining us. Make sure to check out their new singles, Sometimes and Tomorrow. Keep an eye out for their sophomore album coming out soon. Also, make sure to check out issue 114 of Relevant. It features an amazing cover story with Brooke Lidgertwood. We've got a lot of thought leaders, faith leaders, actors, Rainn Wilson, who else? Need to Breathe, Mike Todd, a bunch of other people. Check it out. It's available for free. Just click the magazine tab at relevantmagazine.com. It's presented by The Covenant, available now on Apple TV. All right, on that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Gary.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Marty.
We'll see you on Friday. Have a great week, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Awana, homeschool prom, sourdough culture.
Relevant Podcast Network.